From wasting 75 scallops in a single service, to turning the restaurant into a shrimp stand, these were the times Gordon Ramsay completely shut down Hell's Kitchen.
And what's the point in going on? Shut it down!
Starting with Season 10's Scallop Massacre, which might be the most embarrassing scallop disaster in Hell's Kitchen history. The teams wasted 75 scallops and failed to serve a single entree in 2 hours, forcing Gordon to shut down both kitchens.
Rasheen, what are these for? We serve, look at me, we serve 5 per portion, right?
But to understand how this service became such a nightmare, you need to know what happened earlier that day. The previous night had already been a disaster. Multiple contestants had completely botched their scallops, with Roshni's performance being particularly embarrassing according to Gordon. So when the contestants woke up at 6:18 a.m. to a rap group blasting music in their dorms, they knew they were in trouble.
Get up! Get out of bed, y'all! Get up! Come on, get out of bed, y'all!
Gordon had arranged for their scallop supplier to deliver 125 scallops buried in 2 massive piles of ice. Both teams had to dig through the freezing ice with their bare hands to find every single scallop.
Both teams get every scallop in that bucket. And I mean, move your ass. Yes, chef!
After the ice dig, Gordon announced the scallop challenge. Each team had to shuck, clean, and cook perfectly plated scallop dishes. 6 dishes with 5 pieces each, exactly matching Gordon's sample plate.
I never, ever in my life opened a scallop. Never. No experience with scallops.
The women started strong. Barbie and Tiffany got their first attempt accepted, followed by Dana and Robin. The score quickly became 5-0 for the women, with Tiffany mocking the men for sucking.
Scallops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, beignets, done. Scallop, beautifully cooked. Great job.
The men were struggling so bad that Justin decided to send up his attempt for the hell of it, only to have it rejected for scallops that looked more like rectangles than circles.
Who cut that? I've got a... Look, it's a rectangle scallop. Look, the chunk missing there. Start again. F***ing hell.
The women won 6-2, but this victory would come back to haunt them in the worst possible way. That evening, Gordon called the opening night a huge disappointment and hoped for redemption and pride. Instead, he got one of the most spectacular failures in Hell's Kitchen history. The problem started immediately. Dawn sent up a pizza that was burnt on the top and raw on the bottom.
Don, I've got burnt pizza on the top, yeah, and raw underneath. Burnt and raw. How the f*** you manage that one, I don't know.
Over in the red kitchen, Barbie and Tiffany were already at each other's throats. When Gordon asked for scallops, Barbie didn't respond until the second time. Tiffany noticed missing scallop pieces, but Barbie ignored her and placed 8 pieces on the tray instead of the required 10. So Tiffany made a calculated decision and sent up the incomplete order, specifically to throw Barbie under the bus. When Gordon saw the missing scallops, he was furious.
What's the matter with you? We're waiting for 2 more. That's the state of the concentration going on currently in this kitchen.
Chris was having his own mental breakdown on the blue side. The pressure had scrambled his brain so badly that he couldn't handle basic math. 4 scallop orders meant 20 scallops total, but Chris stood there staring at his pans like he'd never seen them before.
I don't know if I should do it in 4 orders in 2 pans or if I should just go with 4 orders in 4 pans. And now I'm contemplating, I'm like...
When Chris finally managed to send something up, Gordon lost it. Chris had sent 2 different trays of scallops. Half of them were burnt, and the other half were rubbery, but all of them were inedible. It looked like Chris had panicked and tried multiple cooking methods at once, failing.
Touch those scallops. How dare you? How dare you?
After yesterday's disasters and this morning's punishment, watching Chris make the exact same mistakes was too much. So he made the entire blue team sit at the chef's table and eat every single overcooked scallop Chris had ruined. They couldn't restart until they finished eating the garbage.
All of you, how dare you? Didn't you learn anything yesterday? I mean, come on!
And the service kept getting worse. Barbie couldn't stop burning scallops in the red kitchen. Each failure made Robin more vicious, and their fighting affected the whole team's timing.
Whenever Barbie touches anything, it's like a disaster.
In the blue kitchen, panic took over completely. The men had watched Chris fail so badly that nobody trusted anybody else with scallops. All 6 men abandoned their stations and crowded around the fish station like they were trying to solve a puzzle together. 2 hours into service, neither kitchen had served a single entree. The red team was completely falling apart. Barbie called out 2 minutes on her sea bass, but nobody believed her anymore. Robin shot back and asked if it was a real 2 minutes or a playful 2 minutes.
2 minutes in the past, we welcome the sea bass, correct? 2 minutes. Look, yes, 2 f***ing minutes.
That's when Tiffany made her most desperate move. She told the team to fire 6 sea bass at once, thinking they could get ahead of orders that might come in. She had forgotten the basic rule: you cook food when customers order it, not when you're panicking.
I've got 6 bass going. What?
Chef, I told them to start the bass because
This should be cooked to order. It's fish.
Chef Ramsay discovered the 6 random sea bass cooking, and he cracked. After watching both teams waste dozens of scallops, now they were cooking food nobody had ordered. He showed them the 7th plate of ruined scallops that Barbie had destroyed and made his decision.
All of you, get out! Absolutely useless.
Over in the blue kitchen, the men were trying to salvage their 3rd attempt at the first entree order. Clemenza brought up what he thought was an acceptable steak, but Gordon took one look and saw it was completely overcooked. This was personal for Gordon. He was in the middle of opening his own steakhouse in Las Vegas, and watching someone ruin a basic steak was the final insult. He grabbed the overcooked meat, shoved it back at Clemenza, and threw the men out as well. When Gordon gathered both teams, he was still struggling to find words for what he'd witnessed.
The losing team is the women and the men.
Despite scallops being the dish he expected to be perfect from both kitchens, he had gotten a complete meltdown instead. He compared the women to a sinking ship and the men to a runaway train. Both teams were named joint losers. During elimination, the blame game continued. The women unanimously voted Barbie as their first nominee, with Tiffany angrily telling her to go home because they didn't want her around. The men nominated Chris for scallop disaster and Royce for needing to be taught how to make mashed potatoes.
our first nominee tonight is Barbie because we feel she's not a team player, Chef.
Gordon sent Barbie back in line and eliminated Chris instead. But as catastrophic as this was, it would pale in comparison to what happened in Season 6, when Gordon turned Hell's Kitchen into something no fine dining restaurant should ever become. Season 6's second episode gave us one of the most humiliating shutdowns in Hell's Kitchen history. Not only did Gordon close both kitchens, but he did something he'd never done before. He turned Hell's Kitchen into what he called a shrimp stand.
That's a first for me. You just turned my restaurant into a shrimp stand.
But this disaster started hours before service even began, with a challenge that set everyone up for failure. The morning started with hundreds of shrimp raining from the ceiling like a freak ice crustacean storm. Each chef had 10 minutes to clean as many shrimp as possible. It should have been simple.
It was like a freak ice crustacean storm.
The blue team won 45-44 in a nail-biter finish. Jim's final shrimp made the difference. But the real story was Tennille's performance for the red team. She managed to get only 1 shrimp accepted out of 8 attempts.
Tennille, 1 fucking shrimp in 10 minutes. Pathetic.
Robert, who had just returned to the competition, questioned her judgment, pointing out that she was wearing glasses, so she should be able to see what she was doing. Tennille was devastated, knowing she'd let her team down. The punishment made everything worse. While the blue team enjoyed a yacht trip with Gordon, the red team spent all day cleaning more shrimp and segmenting lemons for shrimp cocktails. Tensions exploded as Suzanne confronted Tennille about her poor performance, questioning how someone could have never cleaned shrimp before.
I just can't imagine somebody being in a restaurant never having been taught the proper way to peel and shrimp. I don't understand.
That evening, Gordon announced that both teams would be serving shrimp scampi tableside. He assigned Van from the blue team and Tennille from the red team to handle the tableside stations.
To add a little bit of magic to the dining room, we're going to be serving scampi tableside.
The problem started immediately. Tony got so excited about cooking scallops that he dropped them in the pan without anyone calling for them. When Gordon asked why, Tony had no answer. The scallops came up raw, and Gordon questioned Tony's vision, despite him wearing glasses.
So you bring the fucking scallops, he hasn't even got the shrimp in the pan, and the capellini's just got in, you
In the red kitchen, Robert was supposed to be the savior. The women had compared him to an angel coming down from heaven after his return. But Robert immediately burned his shallots and sent up rice over charred vegetables.
Robert, I know you did well last season,
Yes,
but
sir.
so far you're doing terrible now.
A small fire erupted in his pan. Gordon was discouraged, telling Robert he was doing terrible, despite having done well the previous season. The supposed leader was falling apart. Meanwhile, Tennille was drowning in the kitchen. She fell 6 tables behind and served raw shrimp to a pregnant woman. When she came back to tell Gordon she needed 5 more minutes, he was furious.
What the f*** does that mean when you're serving a raw shrimp to a pregnant lady? Get a life, will you?
Gordon pulled the entire red team aside, and Tennille admitted she was 6 tables behind. The blue team wasn't any better. Tony couldn't handle the fish station, sending up raw halibut that he forgot to season. Kevin had to take over and cook the halibut on the garnish station.
Maybe he can cook at home, but he can't cook on line. He has no concept.
When Kevin's halibut also came up raw, 5 men crowded around the fish station trying to fix the problem. Joseph took vocal control, telling his teammates to shut up and relax because they looked like chickens.
Would you just shut the up for a minute and relax? You're all like chickens right now. Relax.
While both kitchens were failing, Van was having his own meltdown in the dining room. His tableside shrimp scampi kept falling on the floor. When he went back for more equipment, Jean-Philippe told him not to run in the dining room.
All right, we're gonna try that again. I'm sorry. He's gonna yell at me here in a minute.
Van exploded. He told Jean-Philippe he wouldn't let him tell him what to do. The 2 men were about to fight each other before Gordon pulled them into the pantry.
What is going on?
He's got no respect
Don't
whatsoever.
shout! We're in front of the customers now!
I'm sorry, Chef. He's not respecting this dining room, Chef.
When they came out, Jean-Philippe sarcastically told Van, ladies first. The dining room was as chaotic as the kitchens. An hour and a half into service, nothing was working. Sabrina's chicken came up pinker than her lipstick. Lovely's sea bass was raw, then burnt on the second attempt.
The chicken is pinker than your lipstick!
Yes, Chef.
Gordon looked at both kitchens and saw the same thing. Raw food, burnt food, and complete chaos. He'd had enough. He called both teams together and told them he was going to do something he'd never done before. Everyone thought they were all going home.
There's one thing you can do here, is a shrimp cocktail. Get me some shrimp cocktail.
Yes, Chef.
Instead, Gordon made a decision that was somehow more humiliating than elimination. He ordered both teams to prepare shrimp cocktails for every customer in the dining room. After the cocktails went out, Gordon pulled both teams into the blue kitchen and delivered the final blow.
And what's the point going on? Shut it down.
The fallout continued into elimination. Tennille was in denial about serving raw shrimp to a pregnant woman. The blue team couldn't agree on who was most responsible for their fish station disaster. Then, Joseph did something unprecedented. Instead of simply announcing the nominees, he confronted Gordon, took off his jacket, and walked aggressively toward him, almost starting a physical fight.
You want a jacket? You want to talk some shit? Let's go step outside, mother.
By the end of the night, the chaos in the kitchen had spilled everywhere, leaving tempers hot and egos burnt to a crisp. Now, what happens when experienced professionals face amateur cooks? Season 3 delivered the most shocking upset. Episode 6 of the 3rd season started with what should have been an advantage. The blue team boasted an impressive lineup: 2 sous chefs, an executive chef, and a line chef. Meanwhile, their competition was a nanny, a short order cook, and a pastry chef. On paper, it wasn't even close.
To succeed as a chef, you've really got to succeed with your ingredients.
But Hell's Kitchen has a way of exposing weaknesses when the pressure mounts. It all started with Melissa's transfer from red to blue. The red team was thrilled to see her go, calling her names behind her back. Meanwhile, the blue team welcomed their new member, but Rock wasn't buying it.
Melissa's still going down, without a doubt. She's gonna lose, it's just he gave her another day.
The lobster challenge set everything in motion. When the red team won 2-1, the blue team's punishment was brutal, sorting through garbage and recyclables. Rock completely lost it.
I've never seen anything inside of a garbage can that should be taken out. I might find this a little difficult.
When he was forced to sort trash, even at the photo shoot location, his fury reached dangerous levels. Brad had never seen Rock that angry before.
Rock came back and he was even more upset. It was like rubbing salt in the wound.
By the time they returned, the blue team was fractured. Rock was seething, Brad was trying to keep the peace, and Melissa was desperate to prove herself on her new team. Gordon added extra pressure by putting Bonnie's winning lobster salad on the menu and making the blue team fetch live lobsters from the tank as continued punishment. Josh volunteered to be the lobster bitch, but the humiliation was already eating at them.
Tonight's menu. Special main course on tonight. Bonnie, that's your dish. The grilled lobster salad is going on as a main course.
Service started with a disaster that set the tone for everything. Gordon noticed the blue team's pasta water wasn't boiling. Brad's explanation was devastating. We just put in fresh water 5 minutes ago.
Why is that water not boiling there?
We put fresh water in it about 5 minutes ago and...
An executive chef starting water 5 minutes before service. Gordon's face said it all. From there, the disasters multiplied. Brad sent up 3 risottos when only 2 were needed. Melissa's scallops were paper thin, and everything she touched went wrong. Gordon called her a gremlin as her panic spread through the kitchen.
Pass it back to Chef Melissa. The f***ing gremlin. Everything she touches, she screws.
Josh's mashed potatoes came out like wallpaper paste, runny and under-seasoned. Rock accused him of being scattered, while Gordon compared the entire blue team to a bunch of babies.
Oh, it's like a bunch of babies here.
Meanwhile, the red team was flying. 1 hour in, they'd pushed out 28 appetizers. An hour and a half into service, Melissa delivered the knockout punch. Her monkfish was so overcooked, it looked like regurgitated dog crap. When she revealed that only 1 piece remained for 6 orders, Gordon desperately moved Rock to the fish station to try to save the service. But it was too late.
It looks like regurgitated dog shit. Where's the other monkfish gone?
I have 1 left, Chef.
Josh's mashed potatoes were still terrible. Brad's performance kept getting worse, and coordination had completely broken down.
Brad.
Yes, Chef.
Tonight was your worst service.
The final straw came when Jean-Philippe returned an entire table of 6 entrees. Gordon had watched enough. After sarcastically thanking Melissa for the overcooked fish, Josh for the gloopy mashed potatoes, and Brad for being a twat, his patience finally snapped.
Shut it down!
The red team had achieved the impossible. 3 women with minimal fine dining experience had completely outclassed 4 supposedly professional chefs. It remains one of Hell's Kitchen's most shocking upsets, and one of the most embarrassing defeats ever captured on television. Sometimes experience means nothing when pressure reveals who can actually cook under fire.